No one ever really tells you how strange it feels when your home suddenly becomes too big for the life you're living. The kids have moved out. Rooms once filled with laughter are now silent. And one morning, you look around and realize you're surrounded by memories, old belongings, and an emptiness you're not quite sure where to begin clearing. The thought of moving to a smaller, simpler space starts to creep in. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Sell the house, pack up, move out. But anyone who's truly thought it through knows downsizing isn't just about square footage. It's an emotional journey, a mix of freedom and loneliness, lightness and nostalgia. It's easy to feel overwhelmed because you're not just leaving a house, you're stepping away from a chapter of life that once meant the world to you. But let me say this, if done right, downsizing isn't an ending. It's a new beginning, a chapter that's lighter, quieter, more peaceful, and perhaps the most liberating one yet. In today's video, we're going to explore 10 things no one really tells you about downsizing in later life. Truths that help you not only reorganize your home, but also realign your mind and your way of living. So if you're standing at the edge of a big decision, stay with this video till the very end, because it might just lead you back to a kind of calm you forgot was possible. 1. Redesigning your daily rhythm. A smaller home that finally fits. Most people don't realize this at first, but downsizing isn't just about space. It's not simply moving out of a big house with too many rooms and too much stuff. It's a chance to redesign the daily rhythm of your life to fit the person you are now. Some people have spent decades in two-story homes with big front yards and long driveways. They're used to climbing stairs 10 times a day, used to worrying about the roof, the fence, the lawn, and all those forgotten corners no one uses anymore. But then, at some point, those stairs start talking to your knees. The attic ladder becomes something to avoid. And slowly, things no longer feel like they fit. A smaller home, where everything is on one floor, where natural light spills through the windows, where the walkway is wide enough for you to move without tripping over old memories, is not a compromise. It's a better blueprint for a smarter season of life. Imagine starting your day with coffee by the window, no lawnmower buzzing, no list of weekend chores waiting, just enough quiet to hear the background music of your own life again. Here's what matters most. When your space fits your life better, you stop serving the house, and it starts serving you. Have you ever lived in a space that quietly drained you without you even noticing? If so, you're not alone. And maybe it's time to ask yourself, does this space still match the way I actually live today? 2. It's not just less space. It's getting your time and freedom back. Here's the thing. When people talk about downsizing, they usually mention the numbers. Smaller home, lower bills, fewer rooms to clean. But what they rarely talk about is what it feels like to get your time back. Because when you live in a big house, even if you don't realize it, you're always paying for it. Not just with money, but with time and energy. Fixing a loose shingle, replacing a porch light, checking if the grass needs cutting again. The to-do list never truly ends. Then one morning, you catch yourself thinking, I'm spending all this time maintaining something I barely even enjoy anymore. If downsizing is done right, it gives you something priceless. The experience of waking up on a weekend with absolutely nothing urgent to do. No lawn to mow, no guest room to tidy, no basement cobwebs to chase down. Just you, and the kind of time you once believed you'd never have again. A friend once said, "My old house felt like a full-time job with no vacation days." When he moved into a 2-bedroom unit with a sunny little porch, he told me It was the first time he could sit still without feeling guilty. That's the quiet gift of downsizing. It's not that you have less, it's that you stop sacrificing so much just to own more. Have you ever had days so busy, but by nightfall, you couldn't even remember what you did? If the answer is yes, maybe it's time to ask, am I giving away my precious time to a life that no longer fits me? Martin. 3. Choose the home. First, then the furniture. One of the most common mistakes people make when downsizing is this. They bring all their old furniture and then go looking for a new home. They think, this is my favorite chair, of course I'm taking it. This dining table's been with me for decades, how could I possibly leave it? And so, once they move into the new place, they try to fit all those old pieces into a completely different space. The result? A bulky sofa blocks half the walkway. The dining table is pushed so tightly against the wall, getting a spoon from the kitchen feels like a yoga move. But downsizing isn't just about changing the square footage, it's about changing the way you live, which means your new space should reflect the life you're living now, not the one you had 20 years ago. There's a woman named June who did something I wish more people would try. Before buying a single piece of furniture for her new apartment, she spent an entire week just living in the empty space. She walked around, watched how the afternoon light fell across the floor, sipped tea in different corners, and listened closely to herself. What do I actually need each day? Then she only bought what truly supported that rhythm of life. A small, round table, just right for breakfast. A reading chair, perfectly sized for her, placed by the window. A simple floor lamp next to the bookshelf. She once said something I've never forgotten. I didn't build my home around old furniture. I built it around my new day-to-day life. If you're thinking about downsizing, remember, not everything you once loved needs to come with you. What matters most is whether your new home fits the person you are now. You're beginning a new chapter, and that chapter deserves to be written on a fresh page, not one crowded by the past. 4. Be intentional with every item. In a large home, it's easy to hide things everywhere. Closets stuffed with coats that never get worn. Boxes under the bed labeled maybe someday. Basements packed like archives of lives once lived. But when you downsize, every square foot, every drawer, every shelf matters. Everything you bring must serve a clear, present-day purpose. That might sound strict, but really it's a beautiful opportunity, a chance to consciously choose what truly deserves to stay in your everyday life. No longer asking, where should I put this? But instead, do I actually need this? Is it serving me now? A friend of mine once joked, I kept a whole basement full of her just-in-case items, but that day never came. And when she began downsizing, everything changed. She only kept what she genuinely used. The rest? She let go without guilt. She used underbed storage bins, coffee tables with hidden drawers, clever wall hooks, and even a simple note-taking app, so she didn't need stacks of paper anymore. But the best part? Her home felt more spacious, without adding a single extra wall. Because true space doesn't come from square footage, but from how intentionally you use it. So ask yourself, are you holding on to things that no longer serve you? If the answer is yes, maybe it's time to stop asking, where should I store it? And start asking, do I still need it? Living simply doesn't mean living with less. It means living with what's just right and letting that be more than enough. 5. Shrink the stuff, not your life. There's a moment that hits almost everyone when they begin downsizing. A strange, sudden realization. Your belongings seem to be multiplying. Every drawer, every closet, every old box in the basement, filled with things you barely remember keeping. A sweater from 10 years ago. Receipts from when your kids were in high school. Souvenirs from a vacation so far back it's beyond memory. Then it hits you. So much of what you own is the remains of who you used to be. And you know what? That's okay. Each item held a place in a particular season of life. You were the busy parent, the hard-working spouse, the devoted child caring for aging parents. All of those roles were real, and they mattered. But now, you no longer have to carry them all with you. Downsizing doesn't mean making your life smaller. On the contrary, it's about making your life sharper, more in focus, more true to the person you are today. I once heard an older man say something that stayed with me. I thought I was shrinking my life, but really, I was making it clearer. And it's true. When you release what no longer serves you, you don't lose a thing. You simply create space for what still lights you up. You don't need 5 jackets when you only wear one. You don't need 20 coffee mugs when there's that one you reach for every morning. You just need enough. And enough, when chosen with care, is more than plenty. Have you ever felt like your days were full, but still missing what really mattered? Maybe letting go of stuff is the first step toward reclaiming the mental space you forgot you lost in all those busy years. 6. Flexibility matters more than perfection. One unspoken expectation that many people carry into downsizing is the hope that everything will fit perfectly from the very beginning, that the new, smaller home will be streamlined, furniture will fit just right, the light will fall in all the right places, and everything will function smoothly, like a model apartment in a magazine. But reality always has its little quirks. The armchair you thought would be perfect suddenly feels like it's taking over the living room. The dining table you've always loved turns out to be just a bit too tall for the kitchen counter, making meal prep awkward. Even the neighbor's dog starts barking right when you're trying to meditate. And that's when an important lesson emerges. There is no such thing as absolute perfection in any living space. But there is always room for flexibility. A gentleman once shared that after he downsized, he realized his bathroom in winter was so cold it felt like walking into a freezer. At first, he planned to replace the entire heating system. But then, he simply bought a small space heater and started calling it his free winter spa every morning. It was this humor and lightheartedness that made his life feel so much more comfortable. Downsizing isn't about constructing an ideal setup. It's a process of adjusting, trial, error, and refining until you find a rhythm that truly fits your new pace of life. Have you ever found yourself stressed out over a corner table that didn't match the lamp? Or frustrated that your new house doesn't feel as cozy as the old one? If so, perhaps you're chasing an image of perfection instead of simply embracing the reality of what's yours right now. Because sometimes that odd little shelf becomes the perfect place for your favorite photo. The squeaky window turns into the morning's gentle wake-up call. And imperfection itself becomes the soul of a home. Something real, something truly yours. 7. Downsizing isn't just about saving money. It's about emotional freedom. When people think of downsizing, the first thing that usually comes to mind is one word: saving. Electric bills, water, property taxes, everything shrinks. And yes, that's a very valid reason. It's one of the main factors that pushes people to reduce their living space. But what most people don't expect is that the real transformation happens afterward. When you begin to feel a lightness in your mind and heart. A smaller home doesn't just ease your physical load, it also frees you from being pulled into the past, day after day. A large house, especially one you've lived in for decades, can start to feel like an emotional museum. Each room holds a memory. The kitchen, where family dinners once filled the air with warmth. The chair where your spouse once read the newspaper. The guest bedroom where your children grew up. All of it is beautiful. But when those people have moved on, the house can start to echo with a strange emptiness. And here's the harsh truth. When you live surrounded by old memories for too long, you may forget how to make new ones. A neighbor once shared with me, 3 years after his wife passed away, he was still living in the same old house. And every day, it felt like walking through echoes. Then, he moved into a small apartment by the lake, where the morning sun streamed through the window. He said, "I still carry the memories, but no longer the heaviness. And sometimes, that is enough." Are you living in a place filled with too many memories, leaving no room for the present? Do you feel like you've stayed too long in a space that only reminds you of what's gone, instead of helping you live what's still ahead? If so, downsizing isn't just about clearing things. It can be a gentle, quiet journey of healing. 8. Prepare yourself for empty walls and quiet rooms. There's something no one really prepares you for. That first night in your new home. There are no more familiar footsteps on the wooden floor. No worn-down chair that someone used to sit in every night. No creaky window that used to moan when the wind blew. Just you and the blank white walls with no photos yet. A clean, new room, full of potential, yet feeling like someone hasn't moved in yet. Many have described that feeling, like they're living in someone else's house. Not because the place isn't good, but because it doesn't yet carry their own breath. And that's perfectly normal, because every living space needs time to become a home. A friend once told me that on her first night in the new apartment, she sat among unopened boxes and suddenly burst into tears. Not out of sadness, but because the emptiness felt so real. 2 weeks later, she smiled and said, "I don't want to leave anymore." I hung a photo of my grandkids, placed flowers by the window, and now every morning I listen to the kettle whistle in this tiny kitchen. The empty walls will soon hold new memories. The quiet rooms will soon echo with voices, music, and peace. You just need to give yourself time. Time for the new house to learn how to become your home. Have you ever felt lost inside your own decision? If so, don't rush to retreat. Stay a little longer. Because sometimes the silence at the beginning is a sign that you've just stepped into a sacred space where you get to rewrite yourself. 9. Community and familiarity matter more than you think. When people decide to downsize, most focus on the house itself. How many rooms, how many windows, where the bathroom is, whether there's a balcony, but there's something even more important than the four walls. Who are the people around you? A home can be perfect on paper, small enough, beautifully designed, modern, and convenient. But if you walk out your door every morning and no one says hello, if you stop by the grocery store and no one remembers your name, if you live in a neighborhood where everyone is busy and distant, then that quiet can quickly become a frightening silence. Someone once said, "I thought I needed peace, but then I realized I needed peace with someone nearby." A woman I once met, her name was Helen, moved to a quiet suburb because housing was cheaper. The house was great, see, but just a few months in, she said, "I felt like I was living on the moon." No one waved, no one chatted. Everyone had their own families, their own routines. She felt invisible. Eventually, she moved back to her old town, into a tiny apartment above a bakery. Each morning, she smelled fresh bread. Each afternoon, she heard laughter from the cafe across the street. And most importantly, she felt present in a community's daily life. Have you ever found yourself living in a beautiful place, but feeling cold inside? Maybe you don't need a better-looking house. Maybe you just need a place where you truly belong. Downsizing isn't just about relocating. It's a chance to choose the kind of social environment you want to live in, where you don't just have a seat, but also a place in someone else's heart. 10. Celebrate the new chapter. Because you're not losing, you're upgrading. There's one thing many people forget to do after downsizing, and that's celebrating. Because when you move into a new home, you're often too busy unpacking, organizing, adjusting. And the days fly by, the weeks pass, yet you never actually sit down to realize just how monumental your decision was. You didn't just pack up boxes. You stepped bravely out of a chapter that once defined your life. You opened your heart to living lighter, differently. You said goodbye to rooms that held so many memories and stepped into a space still empty to slowly fill it again with new life. Not many people can do that. Not because they don't want to, but because they're scared. Scared of loss, scared of change, scared of being alone. But you did it. And that's something worth celebrating. I once heard an older gentleman say something truly heartwarming after downsizing. I thought I was shrinking my life. Turns out I was upgrading it. And he was right. A smaller space brings fewer burdens. A tidier home helps you know exactly what you own and why you own it. You get time to walk in the morning, to care for yourself, to read a book you never finished. You no longer live for rooms that no longer have anyone in them. You live for the moments where you are fully present. So why not celebrate? No need for a big party, just a simple meal, a favorite song, and a quiet reminder to yourself, I did something I once thought was too hard. Have you ever forgotten to praise yourself after making a big life decision? If so, this is your moment. Do something, anything, to mark this new beginning. Because you didn't lose anything. You brought the best part of your old home, yourself, and placed it in a new setting, one that gives you more freedom. Downsizing isn't just about leaving a house, it's about rethinking how you live, clearing the narrow pathways in your mind, revisiting the corners where you once forgot yourself. And in the end, you realize you don't need more space to live better. You just need a space that fits who you are now. If you're still hesitating, still feeling unsure, that's perfectly normal. Because change doesn't come from rushing. It comes from a quiet moment when you look around and think, it's time to live lighter so I can breathe deeper. You don't need to clear everything at once. You don't need to throw everything away to start over. You just need to keep what truly matters one day at a time and release what's already served its purpose. Downsizing doesn't take away your age. It gives you back your time, your clarity, and the room to breathe, something you may have lost in life's noise. If you're still here, thank you for staying with us until the end of this video. I believe your journey won't stop at downsizing. It will open up a whole new way of living, where less is enough. And peace is a sign that your life is finally aligned with who you are. Share in the comments. Where are you in this journey? What are you holding on to? And what are you ready to let go? Your story may be the light someone else needs. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to Senior Rise. Because here, We don't just talk about aging, we grow again, together, in a gentler way.